Well, of course, yes, I would suggest to have a look at Whitehead, but I would add versatility. Don't get stuck with only one single author, or broaden your mind as much as you can. Now, why Whitehead? Maybe I could present the question from my own perspective. You see, when you meet somebody, or when you meet an author, it has always an eventful dimension, or it's a matter of destiny, if you like. You meet somebody, that person speaks to you, it talks to you, it makes sense. But 10 years earlier, maybe it wouldn't. 10 years later, again, it would be different. So there is a contingent dimension when you meet an author. And it's also a matter of temperament, philosophical temperament. You have various philosophers who have the same sort of coherence and applicability, their system being somewhat equally coherent and applicable. But Whitehead has no doubt a very strong coherence and applicability. So now this would be the contingent part, but the necessity of Whitehead is directly linked with the fact that he's, if you want to, we can put it that way, he's the postmodern Plato. So what does it mean? It means that he has enjoyed, he has experienced in his own way all the major ontological or metaphysical intuitions, like Plato. He stands amidst his own intuitions, and sometimes he does not use them in a systematic way. Like Plato, he studied, he taught, and he contributed to all the major fields of his time. And like Plato, he was looking forward to create a unified system, again, coherent and applicable. But unlike Plato, he sought to give a positive evaluation. No, it's another, I should put it in a different way. He talked about the event, the accident, the sublime précoce, something that Plato was not willing to consider as worthy of the philosophical discourse. And here, Whitehead considered that the event, creativity, is at the core of our experience of the world as it is springing into existence, and hence it should be at the core of our philosophy. Now, Whitehead himself does not spring out of nowhere. He is the child of his time. He is the child of various revolutions coming from culture and science. The opening of space with Nicolas de Cuse, starting with the opening of time with Luther, the opening of consciousness, Meyers, Freud. There must be another one as well. Time, consciousness. Well, the idea that the future is open. So when I claim that Whitehead is the postmodern Plato, it means indeed that you can claim that it's more important to read Whitehead because it makes sense from the perspective of our time and from the perspective of the challenges we have to cope with right now. And taking into account the recent advances of science. I forgot science, electromagnetism, of course, quantum theory, the beginning of quantum theory, special relativity and general relativity. Whitehead was interested in all these dimensions, and he sought to bring his understanding of these various dimensions into one single system. So from that perspective, you could claim that indeed it's more relevant to study Whitehead than Thomas Aquinas, Kant, or Aristotle. But now, of course, in order to give a proper assessment of what Whitehead means, I would say that you need to know, for instance, the question of teleology. You need to know Kant, Aquinas, Aristotle, Plato, let's say, so you can great German scholarship. You have to know what has happened in order to assess what Whitehead brings.